story, The Three Knocks. I've always loved being home alone. The silence, the freedom. This Friday, my parents had left for the countryside, and the house was all mine. I was sprawled on the couch with my laptop, some series playing in the background. Pure bliss. The first knock was so sharp I flinched, even with my headphones on. Not a doorbell. A knock. Heavy and deliberate. Knock. Knock knock. Like someone rapping their knuckles. Probably a neighbor, I thought, taking off my headphones. I walked to the door and looked through the peephole. The landing was empty. Not a soul. Weird. I went back to the couch. About 3 minutes passed. Then again. Knock. Knock knock. The same rhythm. The same weight. I jumped up, ran to the door, pressed my eye to the peephole. Empty again. But now, a chill ran down my spine. Some jokers, I muttered, checking the lock. It was bolted. The third knock came. When I was standing 2 steps from the door. Knock. Knock knock. Louder. More insistent. Right in front of me. My heart skipped a beat. I saw no one through the peephole. That meant only one thing. Someone was standing right up against the door. Out of the fisheye view. Or, they were very, very short. The silence behind the door grew thick, like jelly. And then I heard a new sound. A faint, metallic scrape. As if a key, or a nail, was being slowly dragged across the wood of the door. And this sound. It was moving. From left to right. Right at the level of the peephole. Then it stopped. Right opposite my line of sight. And from the inside, the peephole went dark for a second. As if someone on the other side had also looked in. I recoiled from the door as if burned. No one else was in the house with me. I was sure of that. Or was I? I turned around, scanning the dark hallway leading to the bedrooms. The silence inside the house now felt hostile. And from the door came a soft, wet rustling. As if someone had pressed their cheek against it and was slowly sliding down toward the crack underneath. Then, from under the door, a dark, almost black liquid began to seep in. It didn't spread like water. It stretched like syrup, directly toward my bare feet. And it smelled of wet earth. And something else. Something sweet and rotten. I didn't watch where it flowed. I ran. Not for the phone. Not for a window. I ran to the farthest room, the bathroom, because it had a solid lock. I slammed the door, turned the bolt, and pressed my back against it. Silence. Only my ragged breathing and the pounding of my heart in my ears. Then, from far away, from the entryway, came the sound of the front door opening. Not a break-in, not a crash. A faint, faint creak, as if it had simply been pushed open from the inside. And footsteps. Slow, wet footsteps on the laminate floor. Squelch. 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 They walked down the hallway. They stopped right outside the bathroom door. My hand instinctively reached for the doorknob to check if it was locked, but I didn't touch it, because at that moment, the knob from the other side began to slowly, gratingly, turn. And through the crack under the door, that black liquid seeped in again. It stopped, forming a small puddle at my feet. Something was reflected in it. Not my face. Something twisted and smiling, hanging up high, near the ceiling. And I realized I hadn't locked myself inside. I had locked myself where IT already was.